This episode was brought to you by My Extraordinary Productions, now offering actor research services.
So I got this advice from Jack Plotnick, and I'll be sure to link his information below. Jack Plotnick's rule of three is just a set of three questions that you should ask yourself before accepting any job. And those three questions are, does it pay? Will it look good on my resume? Will it be fun? And you have to answer at least two of those with a yes in order for you to take the job. I think it's a really good, quick metric if you're unsure about something, and ideally, you'll find a job that is fun and pays and looks good on your resume. But let's be honest, sometimes you're only going to hit two of the three, sometimes you're going to hit one of the three, sometimes you're going to hit zero of the three. So let's look at will it pay? So the most obvious form of payment is currency, a living wage, if you will. And hopefully you're making a living wage plus extra, but maybe you're not doing that. Maybe you're giving a discount because it's a bulk order and that's a lot of money on the table. Or maybe you're giving a small discount because it's a good cause or something. Or maybe you're intentionally taking a pay cut so that you have fewer responsibilities and can dedicate more time to other pursuits. As I've implied though, payment isn't just money. You could also be working for free so that you can learn skills on this job that ordinarily would cost you thousands of dollars to learn. Maybe this job doesn't pay well, but it's a good networking opportunity, and you're getting this networking opportunity for a much, much, much cheaper rate than the person who has to pay $500 to enter. Maybe you were planning on making a short film with a very similar setup, but someone else is doing it, and if you help them out, you don't have to spend $3,000. Maybe you just owe someone a favor and do not want to be indebted to them anymore. Those are all examples I consider this job paying. Let's go on to the next thing. Will it look good on my resume? That one isn't just about having a fancy job title or working for a fancy company, although those two can definitely help. If you really want to be a stunt double and someone offers you a job as an assistant director, well, it's a very nice title, but it may not look good on your resume because you don't necessarily want to be an assistant director, you want to be a stunt double. Now, I did say that sometimes the place you're working for can make a difference. So maybe you have a very terrible job title or a very mundane or generic job title, but you're working for Steven Spielberg or you're working for Paramount, and that label helps you get the next job later. Finally, let's pretend that you really want a better job title or just a different job title. Maybe you're a PA and you're kind of mentally done with that and you really want to be an assistant director. An employer may not want to hire you for a job you don't have a track record in. If you're willing to take a pay cut, it may become less risky for an employer to try hiring you for a different position. Now it's time to talk about the most subjective requirement of all. Will it be fun? Fun is very subjective. What is fun for you may not be fun for me and vice versa. And sometimes I'm not sure fun is the correct word to even use with whatever I'm doing. So let's just broaden this out to say, is this an experience you would happily repeat? Sometimes that experience could be that it's a very low stress situation. Everyone's really easy to get along with. You enjoy the script, you enjoy the work. There's nothing wrong with anything. Maybe you're not having fun, but this is totally an experience worth repeating. Here's where fun gets subjective. Maybe you're at home and you're unemployed and you're really, really bored, and maybe helping out with this set won't be fun, but it will be something to do, and you really want that right now. Ideally, though, this is an opportunity you're excited for. It could be a dream role, a dream show. It could be world travel. It could be anything, really. Here's an example of something that didn't pay but was worth my time. When I was in college, I did a lot of unpaid theater because I figured having credits looked better than not having credits, and having recent credits looks better than having really old credits. And I ended up in a lot of really on-brand shows, and I made a lot of friends, and I just had a really good time. So, totally worth it. This job did not look good on my resume, but was worth my time once again. I took a customer service job because I really needed the money at the time. I knew it wasn't going to look good on my resume because I didn't want to necessarily work in customer service forever. I wanted to do other things. But while I was working at this one job, I ended up being really good friends with a lot of my fellow coworkers, and it was just a very relaxed experience. Well, except for the lunch rush. It didn't look great on my resume just because it wasn't relevant to any of the things I actually wanted to do, but it paid in money. It helped me get those other things I wanted, and my coworkers made it a really good experience. Finally, here's an example of something that paid and looked good on my resume, but it wasn't fun, but it was still worth it overall. I took a job as an instructor at a summer camp because I thought it would be fun, but it wasn't as much fun as I thought it would be. My bosses were never satisfied. The kids were never happy to be there. They didn't want to be there in the first place. Basically, even though this job was supposed to be fun, I ended up having to treat it as just a job, and it ultimately got me other jobs later on. Alright, so hopefully this video helps one or two of you out. Thanks for watching this video. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons. Be sure to follow me on social media. If you have a question, leave a comment, and I will see you all next time.